Good afternoon and welcome back to the channel. So I had to do another video on this because another large fund just launched on Algorand. Borderless Capital is launching a $500 million fund on Algorand. So in the last 24 hours, this is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. In the last 24 hours alone, $2 billion between two different large funds have committed to Algorand. I mean, that is an insane amount of money to be coming into that ecosystem for development, for continued growth, for just additional resources. That amount of financial backing is insane. Like, I have not seen two announcements and with that amount of liquidity coming into any network protocol in that short a period. I haven't seen it. Maybe I just missed it and it happened to some other network protocol that I'm not invested in. But $2 billion being committed to them by two different funds over a 24-hour period, that is insane. And this is how you know that all of these pricing with the altcoins are entirely manipulated. Okay, 2 days, back-to-back, major institutional buy-in on Algorand and $2 billion committed to their ecosystem. And the price is flat. It'll probably dip by 5% later on. Okay, so this just goes to show you that all of this, like, you know, one day Metaverse is pumping, the next day Layer 1s are pumping, the next day DeFi is pumping, the next, you know, this has just been a strategic look over here, not over here type of a situation over the last couple months with the way that they've pumped some of these cryptocurrencies. Because if it's solely based off of fundamentals, okay, and you're really looking at, okay, where's the money going, where are the developers going, where is the growth going? If you're looking at that, there's no reason why Algorand's price shouldn't be going straight up right now, or at least catch a 10 to 15% bump. And it's flat. And yesterday, it was down after that news came out. It was 5% down. So, that, you know, it just, not that that's, you know, it's good. Keep suppressing the price, right? But I just say that to reiterate that when you're, like, when I'm looking at all this, I have certain criteria that I'm buying off of. And nowhere in that criteria is short-term price action, like, because I don't care. And I think that, honestly, a lot of that is misdirection. And because if you really look at it, look at the ISO protocol. Look at all the different technologies, cryptocurrencies that we know are tied into the right people, but are flat. They're almost the worst performing cryptocurrencies. I think that they think that we're going to sell them. I think they think we're just going to ultimately say, oh, well, I guess the big banks and the governments just aren't going to use blockchain technology, so we might as well dump these. Yeah, not going to happen. Actually, it probably did happen with a number of different people. But guys, like, I had to put this video out. $2 billion in a 24-hour period committed by two different funds. That is huge news. It really is. And it's not just huge news for Algorand. It's huge news for the cryptocurrency market in general. That's a ton of money, man. I really can't, like, go find other examples of that happening with other layer 1s at that scale. Okay, it's going to be maybe a handful over the last year or so, or over the last 6-8 months. I mean, this is pretty serious. So I would expect, and this is why I did that video months ago talking about Algorand versus the other layer 1s and how I would anticipate Algorand outperforming a lot of the other layer 1s solely based on the different criteria that I went over. Look at their target market. They're already tied into the right people. They've already worked out all the regulatory stuff. They will do whatever it is that the people that they're working with want them to do as far as the features and functionality on their platform and all the different regulatory measures they need to take. So, very big deal for Algorand. Very big deal. And, you know, anybody who's looking at, I'm not saying, you know, that price could drop by 20% tomorrow. But the fact that this has not been factored in with their price is a big deal. Okay, so besides that, Iran is launching their first blockchain and cryptocurrency. I saw this article just come out. I haven't in-depth read through the whole situation, but I just saw the article came out, so I wanted to mention it. I mean, guys, when Iran is even, you know, when totalitarian, authoritarian regimes, which I shouldn't really say that because, you know, in the States, there's not much difference at this point in time. But when countries like Iran are even adopting crypto, that's when you know, okay? Everybody's getting in. All right, everybody's getting in, even India and China, and India's already in. All this FUD that's coming out about India, that's all it is FUD, okay? And the same thing's going to happen with China. They're all moving to the same blockchain network that everybody else is moving to, okay? It's just my opinion. It's not financial advice, but that's what's going to happen. So, in my opinion. That's all I got. Very, very big deal for Algorand. I can't stress that enough. I mean, $2 billion in development that's going to build out an insane ecosystem. I mean, that amount of funding and resources, again, this is, but they think that we're going to they think that we're going to get rid of the ISO protocol. They think that we're going to get rid of all those different applications and technologies that we know who they're working with, right? So that's what their plan is. Let's pump everything else, leave those flat and underperforming, and maybe retail will just dump them for, Shiba Inu or whatever, right? And Shiba has a higher market cap than Algorand. Can you imagine, how insane is that? Shiba and Doge have higher market caps than Algorand. Algorand is going to blow past them it's just going to leave them in the dust. And there's going to be a lot of other ones that do too. I don't want to get this conversation into about meme coins or anything, but I'm just saying that these valuations that we're looking at right now, and in comparison to other things on the coin market cap, we're going to see a lot of shakeup with this, in my opinion, because they have intentionally suppressed the price of a number of these cryptocurrencies, these blockchains, that when you look at all the fundamentals, when you look at who they're connected with, when you look at their development, when you look at their daily active users, when you look at the partnerships and the investing that's coming into them, a lot of things don't line up with the crypto market cap, coin market cap, the way that it's currently set up. And I think that we're going to see a pretty big shakeup over the next 18 months. That's just my opinion. So that's all I got for this video. Thank you everyone who has liked, shared, and subscribed. Take care. Have a good night. I'll see you in the next video.